they found only the teen there and his uncle dead. Charles explained he was in another room studying when he heard gunshots and emerged to find his uncle lying on the floor. Upon search of the scene, police located the more than $7,000 secured with rubber bands amongst Charles' things and questioned the teen a second time. This time, he said that he was in the bathroom when the shots rang out, and although they released him into the custody of his mother, Corey Smith's 15-year-old nephew became a person of interest in his murder. The murder weapon was ultimately located in the outdoor trash bin on the side of the house. It was 2 days later, on Wednesday, September 23rd, that Charles' mother contacted police requesting they meet one more time, and when they did, she told them that Charles had told her that he'd killed his Uncle Corey, leading to his arrest the next day. 3.5 weeks later, on October 13th, 2020, 15-year-old Charles Lamar Alexander had a direct file hearing and was bound over to adult court, clearing the way for his longtime attorney to file a motion to have him again declared incompetent to stand trial. Attorney Rod Vereen said, quote, "For the past couple years, he's been declared incompetent. I couldn't file a motion until they direct filed. Now it will be my basis for barring proceedings." He had previously said on behalf of his client, quote, "There are many juveniles who also suffer from early childhood trauma, learning deficiencies, and mental illness, and the criminal justice system can no longer afford to allow them to fall through the cracks. If the allegations are proven true that my client committed this unfortunate crime, then here's a prime example of the system failing this child. Should he have been involuntarily committed over the past couple of years so he would not have been a danger to the community? Coach Smith would still be alive today, right? If the facts are true, who failed whom? The state attorney's office is seeking to direct file this child. Per statute, that's within their discretion. I am hopeful that because the state is aware of this child's prior psychological history, the state attorney's office will do the right thing and keep this case in the juvenile division. The family, admittedly, does not know the facts or what occurred here other than the limited statement allegedly made by an incompetent child. What is a fact is that the family has been seeking help for this child for years, and somehow this child, like many others, fell through the cracks. The family has hired me to seal those cracks and help get this child the help he needs and see that he is treated fairly by the criminal justice system and properly represented no matter what the allegations." 1 week before Corey Smith's murder, on September 14, 2020, the estate of Frank Ordonez, as well as Carlos Lara, a bystander who was shot at the Miramar intersection and survived, filed a negligence lawsuit against 6 local law enforcement agencies they believed to have been involved in the shootout. The Miami-Dade, Pembroke Pines, and Miramar police departments, in addition to the Florida Highway Patrol, were identified the day after the shootout as having fired almost 200 shots combined. Those 4 agencies, along with the Doral Police Department and the Broward County Sheriff's Office, were all named in the negligence lawsuit, although the Broward County Sheriff's Office quickly issued a statement saying that they'd only been involved by transporting a victim by air. It's been nearly 11 months since the UPS truck hijacking, and though the Florida Department of Law Enforcement determined which agencies fired in the shootout, the shooters of the bullets that killed Frank Ordonez, Rick Cutshaw, and injured Carlos Lara have yet to be identified publicly. Here is some of what the Ordonez estate's attorneys recently had to say in a press conference.
All of South Florida was truly shocked on that day, back on December 5th of 2019, when this tragedy unfolded in front of our eyes, much due to the incredible coverage that all of you and South Florida's media covered on that day, and unfolded really a tragedy that should have never occurred, that took the life of a 27-year-old man, Frank Ordonez, and a 70-year-old man, Rick Cutshaw. They lost their lives due to the absolute pure recklessness and unconscionable disregard for any training, any type of tactical strategy in pursuit and hostage situations by several South Florida law enforcement agencies on that day. And it was a day that police agencies tried to box in two kidnappers who had a hostage, and then they used civilians as human shields, as you've seen in the photographs that we have here today that we'll discuss further. And they went in guns blazing without regard for any innocent lives. And that's why Frank Ordonez is not here today, and that's why Rick Cutshaw is not here today. This is not modern policing. This is not modern policing in any jurisdiction in the state of Florida, the United States of America, or in any civilized country. Frank Ordonez never had a chance when this escalated to this point.
We're coming up on almost a year, and we all have the exact same questions, and they have the answers.
Bail for Charles Alexander was denied, therefore the teen's move to adult jail to await trial for murder is imminent. Till next time, lovelies, don't be scared.